Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about GSHADE and if GSHADE is allowed or not. Because if you guys remember from yesterday's video, I went over the terms of service and they did say that plugins as well as external programs are not allowed and will be breaking TOS, which can result in a permanent ban. So I got a lot of people private messaging me as well as writing in the comment section below asking, yo, I use GSHADE for screenshots as well as just to improve the graphics overall. Is that allowed or not? Well, in today's video, we will be answering all of those questions. But before we jump into that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily. So if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I need to explain is what on earth is GSHADE? Well, GSHADE is a program which can improve the graphical fidelity of screenshots as well as just your graphics in general. So as we can see here, we can compare the left picture with the right picture. You can see that the left side looks a lot nicer compared to the right side. Now, when we come to the GSHADE official website, they have written right here what games are officially whitelisted by GSHADE, and it says right here, PSO2, JP and Global, as well as New Genesis, JP and Global. However, do not mistake this as Sega whitelisting GSHADE. This is simply GSHADE whitelisting the specific games, basically saying that they have 100% support for these games, okay? So it's the other way around. It's not Sega saying that, oh, this is whitelisted, okay? It is GSHADE saying that our program works 100% on PSO2 as well as NGS. So over here is a video made by our good friend Zan. I will leave the video link in the description below. I highly recommend that you watch this video if you do decide to use GSHADE in order to take screenshots, because there is a lot of in-game commands such as how to make your character or all the characters in the screenshot look directly at the camera, and there's a bunch of other really useful commands. So highly recommend that you check out Zan's YouTube channel as it covers all of that information. But back to the question at hand, and that is GSHADE allowed? So GSHADE is a gray area under Sega's eyes. It's very similar to the tweaker. So they exist, Sega knows they exist. However, Sega has decided not to do anything about it. So people are free to use these programs if they want to. GSHADE has existed on base game for 8 years, I want to say, and Sega doesn't really care too much about it. However, there is a catch to this, and that is whenever Sega does a screenshot contest or any social media type of contest, in the terms and conditions of those specific contests, they do state that you are not allowed to use GSHADE and that you're only allowed to use the default settings of the game to take screenshots as a submission to those contests, okay? So if you're just using GSHADE for your own personal use because you want the game to look a lot prettier, or you're using it to get some really nice screenshots for your own personal use, that's perfectly fine. So you could share it on Twitter, you can do all of your social media stuff, that is perfectly fine. Sega won't do anything about it. However, when Sega hosts a screenshot contest or anything that has some monetary gain, for example, if you win the screenshot contest, you usually get AC or SG, then you are not allowed to use GSHADE for those submissions, okay? So that is the fine line that Sega has drawn in the sand. So just make sure that if you do decide to do a submission to specific contests and stuff like that, where you have the chance of earning money or gaining monetary gain, then you need to be very careful and make sure that you turn off GSHADE when submitting those specific screenshots or participating in those contests. Now the next big question is, what about streaming? If I'm streaming the game, can I turn on GSHADE? Can I use the tweaker? Can I use all of these things? And the official answer would be no. However, the unofficial answer or the common practice is you can use it as long as you don't openly promote it. So if you're streaming the game and you're taking screenshots all the time, just make sure that you have like a couple presets already set up, so you're not constantly browsing through all your GSHADE settings while you're streaming live. Because if Sega decides that they don't like your content or they don't like your personality, or for whatever reason you get into their hit list, well, then they can use that against you and you could be banned for that very silly reason. So in my personal opinion, if you are streaming, just make sure everything is set up before you go live, so you don't need to fiddle with all of those menus, so Sega can't use that information against you later down the line. If you suddenly do something bad and they just want to get rid of you, well, then they're gonna have to dig a little bit deeper. So in conclusion, GSHADE is a gray area. It is allowed for personal use. However, just don't openly go around in town telling everyone to use GSHADE in public chat or something, because Sega could constitute that as cheating or like advertisement for cheating, since GSHADE is an external program. So if you want to use it, by all means go ahead, but just don't go around telling everyone that they should use it or that you do use it, so that if Sega does ask you if you do use it, just say that you don't. Just for the record, I do not use GSHADE, nor do I use the tweaker. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But anyway, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.
What can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the